everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a fabulous week. I am going to make sure you see me and hear me, and then we'll get diving into this in the sesh. So, let me see there. See me and hear me. Ooh, and then we'll get diving into this. The volume sounds crackly in the sesh. Let's see if that cleans up if I do this. I might have to switch my microphone. Hi, Matilda. How are you? Just want to make sure that you can hear me on. Volume sounds crackly. Let's see. Okay, that sounds better. Okay. If for whatever reason my volume sounds crackly as we get going, please let me know and I will switch out of my mic. I've had a little bit of an issue with it at the beginning. But anyway, hello everybody who's starting to join us. I'm Lori Fisher with Rethink Home Interiors. Rethink is a full-service real estate staging company based in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And I've been in business for 9 years. And these Wednesday training sessions are all about my lessons learned that I want to share with my fellow staging community to help us all grow and thrive. It's not an easy business to grow at times, and I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and so I'm going to share with you the mistakes and the lessons I've learned as a result of them. If you are watching live, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a hello. I'd love to know that you're here so that I'm not just talking to the just myself on the computer screen. And if you're watching in replay, definitely let me know you're watching in replay as well. Today we're diving into the topic of gratitude. And if you hear something that is new to you, definitely put, like a little like gold, write gold in the comments, or like that's new or never thought about it that way, just so that I can get a feel for what is helpful content for you. So I was thinking about talking about gratitude because I had a real awakening around gratitude when I first started in my business. And I thought kind of right now we're coming off of Diwali and we have Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas and all of these holidays that are actually kind of themed around gratitude. And so I thought this would be a great time for us to discuss why so many entrepreneurs or coaches talk about gratitude for our businesses and specifically in our staging businesses. So for those of you who are new to me and you may not be aware, I was a pre-med major, so I'm really into the neuroscience behind staging work, how psychology impacts our environment. So I'm actually really into the brain science behind a lot of things. And so today we'll dive into that with gratitude, because the one thing I've learned over the years is that our mental health is one of the most important things for us to guard in terms of our satisfaction with our entrepreneurial journey, as well as the actions that we take in our entrepreneurial journey. So it's incredibly important for us to focus on this. So the first thing I want to share is that I shared this with my email list, but I want to share it here, was that several years ago, I was about 2 years into my staging business, and it wasn't growing as quickly as I wanted it to. And I think a lot of us are probably in that situation where, we're shocked that people aren't just, banging down our door looking for our services. So I thought I probably needed some help around growing my business. And I decided, based on the recommendation of a friend and doing some research, that I would probably join this coaching program. And I had a discovery call with them and it all sounded great. And then I asked that question, how much does it cost? And they said $8,000 a year. And my heart sunk because I just did not have an extra $8,000 to spend on coaching. And then I thought, well, if they're as good as they say they are, maybe that $8,000 is worth it to me. So I invested reluctantly. I figured out how to pull the money together and I paid for this coaching program. And the way that the coaching program worked, it was live sessions, and I would have to travel from Philadelphia to Connecticut, which for those of you who are not familiar, it's a train ride, a 3-hour train ride or something, 3 days of hotel. None of that was included in that fee. So that was all additional that I had to come up with. So for the first time that we had this meeting, I was super excited. I was like, I'm going to learn the secrets to what I do not know in this business. I'm going to get some business fundamentals, probably some systems, marketing strategies, how to, have my website set up. And the first day's topic was all about gratitude. And I felt instantly duped. and like I had just done a really bad thing. I'd made like a really bad decision in investing in this coaching program, because that was an awful lot of money to spend to be talking about gratitude, at least what I thought. But the amazing thing is that all of these years later, gratitude is one of the biggest pieces of my business growth and my business moving forward. And I was completely wrong about what a waste of time that gratitude was. And what I needed to do coming out of that session that day, though, because as a researcher and a science person, I actually went and like Googled, my friends call me GTS, which is Google that shit, so earmuff me if you've got kids around. But I went and what I call GTS'd it. I just Googled the shit. I was like, what is the neuroscience behind gratitude? Why would she be talking to us about gratitude? So I'm going to share with you what I learned, and I'm going to share with you how I incorporate it in my business so that you can incorporate it in yours. Because listen, our jobs and our businesses are not easy. We encounter difficult situations all of the time. And coming from a place of gratitude will help us in so many ways. So first up, one of the things that I found, I'm just looking down here so I can see if there are comments coming in. Hi, everybody who's joining. I'm happy that you're here. So the first thing is that when we begin to express gratitude, whether that is to ourselves or to others, and I think that's really important to say, whether we are expressing gratitude to ourselves or to others, we begin to have a couple of things neurochemically happen in our brains. The first thing is we get a dopamine hit. So dopamine is a feel-good hormone. It's the things that make chocolate, make us happy. It's the things that, like, why kittens on YouTube make us happy. It's a dopamine hit. And dopamine has been shown in several studies, whether, like University of Pennsylvania, Berkeley, have all done studies that show that dopamine helps us not only become more optimistic and positive in our thoughts, it actually engages us in the intrinsic motivation systems that we have to achieve goals. So if that doesn't sound like something we need as entrepreneurs, I don't know what is, because so much of our daily motivation and what moves us forward comes from ourselves and from within, our ability to internally go kind of into the future and think about what we want and then try to begin to motivate ourselves to make that happen. So if we can get into a practice of gratitude, that's going to help us along the way. And one of the books that I talk about a lot is Atomic Habits. And in Atomic Habits, he also touches upon this kind of dopamine loop that we can get when we're creating new habits, all of which help us create the actions today that help our future selves and our future businesses. So that's the first thing. The other thing that happens in our brains is serotonin is released. And serotonin is called the happy hormone. It is a mood booster. It's kind of like a natural antidepressant. Serotonin has actually been shown to help improve willpower and focus toward our goals as well. So again, if we are engaging both dopamine and serotonin, they're like magic happy hormones for us to move ourselves forward. And the cool thing is that our brains do actually change. This has been shown in study after study after study. With daily practice of gratitude, studies have actually shown that even as far as 3 months out from a single act of gratitude on MRIs, the centers in your brain that are activated during a gratitude practice are still working at a greater level than they were previous to the single act of gratitude. It was a study done through Berkeley where people had to write a letter to someone, and whether they chose to send a letter of gratitude to someone else or just hold it for themselves, they actually showed on MRI 3 months later that they had a greater activity in the centers that, that gratitude engages when we talk. So just based on that single act. So this is really big, guys. So if you begin to incorporate daily practice or weekly practices of gratitude and really get kind of intentional around it, it's amazing what can happen for your internal satisfaction, your internal motivation, your external goal attainment. It's kind of huge. And like to think that I dismissed it as something kind of woo-woo kind of makes me feel bad that I had done that. But whatever, live and learn, right? We grow. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is that's been studied over and over again is how does this actually help us in a business environment? There's a fabulous article in Inc. magazine, and I believe there's another one in Forbes that kind of talks about the competitive advantage that we can have within organizations and within our entrepreneurial journey ourselves. Oh my goodness, that was not easy to say. So anyway, first off, it helps us manage stress a lot better. If we can get into a practice of gratitude and thinking about, okay, listen, in our businesses, we encounter people who are resistant to our recommendations, who are want something done tomorrow and are dissatisfied if we can't. We have people that question what we do. We have people that move our accessories or whatever. You know, there's all these sticky situations. We have people that maybe don't pay us on time and we have to go, you know, collect payment or have a tough conversation. But if we can recognize that those situations are so much better than so many other circumstances we could be living in. I'm famous for saying, I'm not waking up in the morning in a refugee camp with, you know, a child or two children and not knowing where I'm going to live with them. Like that to me is what I go to. Like I am, any day that I get to live this life and walk this path the way that I get to, I am so much luckier than so many other people, right? So just that helps me manage the stress. When if somebody is upset or they move a plant or they whatever, I really don't, in the big scheme of things, I don't let that bother me because ultimately it isn't that important, right? So first off, that gratitude practice helps you manage stress better. The next thing is it helps us gain and retain clients more effectively. This is a competitive advantage that we have because just like when we give ourselves gratitude quietly, if we journal it or whatever, and it releases dopamine and serotonin in us. When we give gratitude, again, we get that benefit, but it also helps release dopamine and serotonin in our clients as well. So we're famous for, and I'll share with you in a little bit, some of the things that we do in our team to show gratitude to our clients, whether they are the seller, the realtor, an investor, just because it makes us all feel so good. And when people feel good about you, they will continue to work with you. I used to have a boss back in my early days of working, and he would say, people may not remember what you did or what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Such great advice. People will remember how you made them feel. And if you can make your partners in this, the seller, realtor, investor, feel good, they're going to stay with you. They're going to keep coming back to you over and over and over again. The other thing is, for those of us who have employees, it helps us actually motivate our employees and retain them. If you are not in a regular practice of, sharing with your team what rock stars they are, how helpful they are, how you couldn't do this without them, you are missing a huge opportunity for employee satisfaction, employee loyalty, employee just happiness. So really, really important to acknowledge. People love acknowledgement. They may not all love it publicly. Some people might like it privately, but there's no dispute that people like to be acknowledged and appreciated and thanked. So definitely make sure you are doing that with your team if you have them. And that could be a virtual assistant. It could be an in-person assistant. I am forever showering my virtual people, maybe even more than my in-person sometimes, with just thanks and gratitude and appreciation, because I'm not with them on a daily basis. I'm not communicating with them on a daily basis. And I just want them to know how important they are to me and how I could not do what I do without them. It helps us maintain a happy family life. Now, this is also really challenging. It's very easy sometimes to let the stressors of our days creep into our family life. And if we do that, we need that family support so much. And it may not come in the forms that we always want or need, but just knowing that a family is behind us as we are reaching our goals and trying to create a dream for ourselves, I think it's really important to acknowledge that we have people behind us who are, making sure that, kids may be picked up from school if we need to, or they're pitching in with things around the house. We want to show gratitude to them as well, because we don't do this alone as entrepreneurs. Even if it's our kids, I used to thank my kids for being so responsible so that there were things I didn't have to worry about. I knew that they were taken care of, even when they were really little. If they could just get themselves ready for school in the morning without me having to be so stressed, I was thanking them for that. So thank your families, okay? So those are a couple of things you can do, but let me dive into some more specifics of what we do to express gratitude to our clients and our employees and our people. So the first thing is I just want you to acknowledge and don't be dumb like I was and not realize the importance of gratitude in your business, in your daily life. Super important. Studies have shown it. If you're a science geek like me, or you need more facts and proof and all of this, it's out there for you to find. Read some articles if you need to let you know that this is in fact an actual effect on our lives by choosing gratitude and practicing it. And the more we practice it, the better we get at it, the better results we end up getting as a result of that. But I want to caveat this with, it doesn't mean that you're a pushover. If you're understanding gratitude is important and you're about to embark on this journey of showing gratitude, it doesn't mean that you're always just like, oh, everything's great. If you have, if somebody's encroached on a boundary or something, that's something very different. But there are things that we can do on a daily basis in our business to grow our gratitude quotient and to put it forward in the world so that when those situations arise, we're better able to handle them. We can manage that stress better, okay? So I just want to say that. It doesn't mean that you always have to be like, you're so awesome and you give me so much work and that gives you every right to change everything I did in that vacant house. That's not what I'm saying, okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing is that when you start out your day by tapping into the gratitude, it actually begins to set the tone for the rest of your day. So if you can have a minute, whether it's when you're brushing your teeth or you can formalize it by writing it down, that is a habit that you will want to get in just to start your day off right, okay? And there's another thing. When you're starting to create presentations, create emails, working with clients, like anytime that you can tap into gratitude before you do that, there's something called the emotional guidance list. And it's, if you Google that, the emotional guidance framework, there are a list of 21 emotions on that. The first 7 are positive emotions. The remainder are 14 are kind of negative or ambivalent emotions. Whenever you are about to create something for, a presentation, something for marketing, social media posts, emails, any of that, you want to be working from those top 7 emotions of the emotional guidance framework, because it means you're coming from a place of gratitude, and that energy actually gets translated into what you write. And when you look back, it's really interesting. I've looked back over the years at things that I've written, and you can tell, wow, I was in a feisty mood that day, when I created that batch of emails or that batch of social media content, that I might not have been in the best frame of mind. So you definitely want to acknowledge that. I want you to start with yourself. Sometimes we have a habit of forgetting that we need our own self-acknowledgement, that our own success and our own happiness and our own joy is an internal game. And sometimes we allow ourselves to talk to ourselves like we wouldn't allow anybody else to talk to us. We will say things like I did actually just a minute ago, like, don't be dumb like me. You don't want to allow yourself to actually tell yourself the things that you would never let anybody else say to you. So start with yourself. And one of the things, the activities that was done with at my very first coaching session, which I wanted to blow off and think was so weird, was that we had to spend time writing down our accomplishments for the last 90 days. And I thought, well, I'm here because I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish for the last 90 days. But when I sat down and I think we had 3 minutes to write these things down, there were a ton of things that I had accomplished in the previous 90 days that I was actually really proud of, but I hadn't let myself dwell on any of that. My brain wouldn't let me see any of that. So take some time to honor yourself, honor the things that you've done. Look back over the last year and look at where you were then and where you are now and honor that. Take some time for that. That's really, really important to do. And if you can do that on a quarterly basis and make it part of your quarterly planning, you'll actually plan for your business a lot better if you can just acknowledge and reward and recognize yourself for the work that you've been doing, because we don't have bosses to do it. We don't often have, even employees to tell us, wow, that was a great idea. Or, oh my gosh, that was amazing. So for a while, we've got to serve that purpose for ourselves. So start with yourself. Don't be unkind to yourself, and appreciate yourself for all that you've done. The next thing that you want to do is cheer your partners on, right? So like I said before, whether we're showing gratitude to ourselves or others, the dopamine rush is there for both sides of the equation if we're sharing it with others. So we make it a routine habit to cheer on our clients. We set up a Zillow alert so that every time one of our houses goes pending or contingent, we get an alert for it, and we immediately send out an email to our team member who was responsible for that particular service, whether it was a vacant or a styling evaluation or a photo styling or an e-staging consultation. They get copied, the realtor gets copied, the seller gets copied, and we send out a woohoo, congratulations, we saw that the house went pending, that's amazing news. So we want to cheer them on. It makes us feel good, it makes them feel good. You can shout them out on social media. You can send emails of encouragement. One of the things that we do when we work with our e-staging consultation clients and our styling evaluation clients is a few days after their appointment, we send them out a thing that says, hey, just checking in. Hopefully you're rocking your plan. If you're not and you have questions, let us know. But we're sending out a positive intention to those people and showing them gratitude through our positive actions. We send handwritten notes on occasion to our clients. We actually used to do it a lot more, and then we discovered paperless post is really fun. So if you have paperless post available in your country, it is a way to send a really lovely e-card or e-letter thanking your clients. So we thank our clients for referrals. We thank them for thinking of us for work. We thank them for referring us to a fellow referral partner, like a carpenter or tradesperson. Those are really, really fun to send, especially because they're so pretty. We actually have also sent those during COVID just to check in with our clients because paperless post is really, it kind of makes an impression in an inbox. We send free resources. We send, book recommendations. I have realtors that I kind of have book clubby things with where I'm like, oh, I just read this book. I wanted to share it with you because I thought it helped me. I'd love to help you. It's coming from a place of gratitude and love and caring for their businesses that gets reciprocated and brought back to us. It's like a nice feedback loop. So those are some ways that we work for, with our clients to express gratitude. A couple of other things that I do, and maybe, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but before I go into a presentation or a client appointment, I do what Tony Robbins recommends, and I just say, give me the right words today in the right way so that somebody who needs me hears my message. Or to this client today, here's my message. Lets them know that I'm here to help. Lets them know that I'm here on their side. Whatever that is for you, but it's just a little intention before you go in to express gratitude to them, to yourself, and to the process. The other thing I do is after my appointment, as I'm driving away from the appointment, I typically just say thank you. Universe for me, could be source for you, could be yourself, whatever. Just thank you for doing the work to create your days like this. Like, that's pretty awesome, right? So not all days are great. Some days it'll be hard to do that. Some days you may not want to do that. But if you have several frameworks and ways to incorporate gratitude in your business, it will make all the difference in the world. And on that note, I want to thank all of you who are watching live, who are watching in replay. I want to thank all of you. You have meant the world to me over this past year. I'm going to get choked up. I'm going to cry. You have meant the world to me. This has been a new year of growth for me, coming here live live. I never did live video before, so that was a goal of mine for 2020. Never did live training sessions before, and then COVID hit, and I really had to lean into that goal of getting out here. I just want to thank you because you have meant so much to me this year. You've meant so much to my growth. All of the messages that you send me, whether it's email or in replay or live, have meant so much to me. So I just want you to know that I couldn't have gotten through this year without you, and having the thought of showing up to be here with you every week has been so important because there could have been days that I was like, oh, I'll just stay in my sweats today, or whatever. But knowing that I was going to be here with you, that just motivated me to keep moving week after week after week. So I want to thank you. You're a huge part of me attaining my goals in 2020, and I just love you all for it. Okay. So anyway, guys, this will be on the YouTube channel. We're not quite. We have like 2 little things that still are left to be finished over there, but all of these trainings will be in YouTube for you eventually. I'll let you know. We will not be here next week because I'll be celebrating Thanksgiving with my family, but we will be returning on December 2nd with what you should be doing in the month of December to prepare your business for the spring season. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for all of your coaching and training. Oh, absolutely, Karen. Missouri, great advice. Thank you. You guys are the best. And I just love seeing what you all are doing out there in the world. You are all doing incredible things. So move forward knowing that, the woman, the phrase is the badass woman in me honors the badass woman in you. So the badass woman in me honors the badass woman in you. And I appreciate you and I adore you, and just happy we're here together. All right, guys, have a great week. For those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving in the States, have a lovely holiday next week, and we'll catch you in December. Kind of crazy. All right, bye. Bye, guys.